Dr. Anita McLaughlin, a transformational counselor, mentor, chaplain, author, and entrepreneur, and you have just entered the diamond moment. Diamonds are produced through time, heat, and pressure. The cut, clarity, and size of the diamond determine its use. The use of the stone adds to its value. Life's diamonds are produced and processed and valued the same way. This is the place to unlock and process the challenges of your life, ascribe value, determine worth, and put these valuable lessons to work so that you can fulfill your destiny. If you haven't done so yet, I wholeheartedly invite you to join me on Wisdom. Wisdom is a new platform in which you'll be able to get real answers from myself, Dr. Anita, as well as other mentors, some world-renowned, to your questions and be able to interact personally on a one-to-one. What I wanted to discuss with you today and what we did before on a previous podcast was to go a little bit further in depth with some of the questions that I've received on Wisdom. One of the questions that I want to talk to you about today goes with this topic: the things that could hold you back if you allow them to. And this is the sub question that we're looking at. What do you do if pleasing others is killing you? So many times the things that we want to do in life, we postpone because someone who we deem to be important in our life doesn't agree with what we're doing, doesn't understand the motivation that we have. And I would say to you that we have to stand for what we believe in, because that's the only way that we receive fulfillment and the only way that we're able, at the end of life, being a chaplain, at the end of life, that we're able to feel as though we have led a meaningful life. Someone asked on Wisdom, how do you love yourself more and not care what other people think? And my bottom line answer to that is that you have to be true to yourself. No one is able to determine what's best for you. They can give you their opinion, and I would wholeheartedly say, listen, because sometimes the things that we want to do may not be what is most appropriate or best for us at the time. But once we get to a point of maturity, where you are making independent steps, where you are living an independent life, then I definitely would say to listen, evaluate that information, use it in your decision-making process, but the decision itself is up to you. At the end of life, no one can stand or sit in that place but you and determine whether your life has been meaningful, whether you have accomplished what you feel you were placed on this earth to do. And so therefore, regardless to what someone else thinks, it's up to you to determine what you do with your life. Another question that was asked of me on Wisdom is, what are you prioritizing right now? And the essence of the answer is this: I really do have more on my plate than what many people do. I have a number of responsibilities. I'm still working a corporate position. I have my entrepreneurial pursuits. I have things that I feel as though I was called to do, and sharing and spreading that information is very important to me. And being able, again, at the end of life, to look back and say, I feel as though I accomplished what I was positioned on this earth to do. So right now, I am prioritizing, and I said this to the question on Wisdom. I'm not prioritizing according to crisis. I think that anytime you're trying to run and put out fires, you're already in a deficit. But being proactive rather than reactive, being able to determine ahead of time how you want to use your time, what you want to do, how does it fit into accomplishing your goals, and at the completion of that day, that particular day, what have you been able to accomplish? What do you need to prioritize for another day, possibly another week, possibly another month, or possibly remove from your plate altogether because it is not conducive to where you want to go? I've learned that many times the things that I want to do that are not conducive to where I want to go is because I'm trying to please someone else. I'm trying to do for someone else what they deem is necessary for my life. So I wanted to ask this question. What do you do if pleasing others is killing you? Think about that. They're happy, you're miserable. They're fulfilled, you've accomplished none of your own goals, dreams, and desires. What do you do in that case? Prayerfully, stop. Listen to your heart. Look for the guidance of Source, Creator, God, the universe in your life, and move forward in that direction. We're not responsible for pleasing anyone. That's not our job. We're not responsible for making anyone happy. That is not our job. We're not responsible for those things. The individual is responsible for those things in their own life. So I hear you saying, well, Dr. Anita, that sounds simple, but it's not that easy. What do I do when I feel or that I am responsible for someone else? Maybe it is a child. Maybe it's a senior. If it's a child, then you have to move forward according to what the laws of your country say. In the United States, the parent is responsible for the child, the minor, until they are of legal age. Once that minor becomes of legal age, you are no longer responsible for caring for them. However, many people continue to do so, and I was one of those as well. So I'm not saying that the moment your child reaches the legal age of 18 for the United States, that you kick them out, put them out, and you no longer care about them. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is that sometimes we're carrying the load and responsibility for people who are very well able to carry the load for themselves. I had an opportunity in my corporate position to speak to a lady, and she shared with me a situation in which she has an adult child. That adult child has been caring for, and I believe overly responsible for, other adults. Situation came up that precluded her from being able to help them in the way that she had previously. And she was doing everything in the world that she could to get back in that role, to get back in that position. I would say this: when we understand what codependence is, and a loose, very general understanding of that is doing for someone else what they can do for themselves. When we understand that in many cases we are the one that are stopping our own desires, prayers, requests to the universe because we won't move out of the way, how can that child become responsible? How can that young adult become responsible? How can that person that you are enabling to stay irresponsible become responsible as long as you're doing everything, accomplishing all of their goals and making sure that they have nothing missing and nothing broken? I can tell you that it won't happen. So there are times when we have to prepare ourselves to allow those that we love to stand on their own 2 feet, to be self-reliant and self-sufficient. And for most of us who have come through that process, we found out that it was the responsibility that gave us the ability to become responsible. Circumventing that process doesn't help the person that you love. It actually hinders them. What if something happened to you? Then they would be without any skill set whatsoever to move their own life forward. Sometimes the best thing that we can actually do for others is to allow them to figure it out, allow them to work it out, allow them to be the help that they're looking for, and allow them to grow. When we're looking at this subject matter, who are you actually trying to please? Are you trying to please the other person, or are you trying to make yourself feel better? Are you trying to do for them because it makes you feel important? Are you doing for them so that they remain dependent on you? And if that's the case, look deeply into yourself to figure out why. What if they were self-sufficient? What if they did not need your help on a day-to-day basis? What if you trained them to be functioning adults in the world that they live in? What would that do for them? And what would that do for you? How much time would you have in the course of a day if you weren't doing everything for everyone else except breathing? You're there to take up every shortcoming, every shortfall. You are on the spot, making things happen. What happens if you didn't do that? What happens if you were not there to do that? They would have to do it for themselves. So a large part of what we talk about is changing our perspective, modifying our perspective. And I want to submit this to you, offer it to you. How would you feel if you looked at this person and said that I have equipped them with everything that they need in life, and I want to watch them walk? I want to become proud of what they're able to do with the education that I've been able to give them. And then once they're walking on their own, be grateful for that. Be proud of that. And take your time that you would have spent fulfilling their wants, needs, and desires and place that back on yourself. What would you do with your time if it came back and you had those hours and days to spend on what you have been desiring to do? How far could you get? Where would you be? Or have you even ever planned for that? If you've used all of your life looking at what someone else needs from you and not looking at fulfilling what you were positioned here on this earth to do, then maybe it's time to do that. Maybe it's time to look at who are you trying to please? Who are you actually responsible for? And what do you do if pleasing others is killing you? I hope that you'll join me on Wisdom. I hope that you'll become a part of my community on FanBase. I hope that you will continue staying with me on the podcast. I look forward to what we're going to do and what we're doing this year in terms of getting our videos going and working through a diamond journey. Still working on that. You guys continue to send out good thoughts. It's all going well, and I'm so thankful for having the opportunity to present this information to you and looking forward to doing it in other forms as well. Thank you for listening, and join me next time as we redefine the previous steps of your process. Never forget, becoming is a process. A process has stages. One small change changes everything. So invest in yourself. Please visit my website at www.DrAnitaMc.com. That's DrAnitaMc.com for links and additional information. And please rate the podcast if you're enjoying it.